I love is when women decide that something is no longer serving them and they get the fuck up out of it. Like, this is no longer meant for me. Gotta blast. I love that. Like, I love when women choose themselves, put themselves first. Like, I love that. Girl, look at you. Realizing who the fuck you are and realizing not. I'm not going to deal with this any longer. I need to get up out of this. I need to do what's best for me. And you did that shit. And that's why you a boss ass bitch, because you did that shit. You did that shit. Never forget that you did that shit.
What a great opening. And here we are.
Y'all knew we was about to start. Why was y'all make me laugh?
Here we are.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to season 2 of the Do Not Resuscitate podcast. We hope you are all enjoying your day. I am one of your hosts, Ruthia, and this here is my lovely co-host,
Nicole. Hey, y'all.
and then him.
I got my mic ready to say hello.
You supposed to
Hi.
say your name.
Hey, Tommy.
This is Tommy, aka Cam Beats. I am the producer of the show Do Not Resuscitate, and thank you for having us.
I really
love it.
I really did not come here for this.
What?
I did not come here for this. Nicole, how you been doing? Let's get into it. You
I've
gotta
been
tell
doing
all
good.
your
I'm not
business.
gonna tell all my business, and that'll be another time. No, I've been doing really good. Just did the Divas brunch with you, of course.
Mhm.
That was amazing. John Ray always does a really good job. So shout out to John Ray.
And what is the Divas brunch for us non-diva niggas?
Non-diva niggas. That gotta be a hashtag. Us non-diva niggas. What? Okay. Well, why do you feel like you're not a diva?
Because I'm a nigga.
I mean, it wasn't men there, so
It's never populated by men. And for men, it's there. It's probably a vendor or something. But it's
Right.
usually
Yeah, you have to be a worker or the husband of
John Ray.
the
oh
facilitator.
Chuck there.
Of course, he didn't want to be, but
Yeah, he
he
frat.
DJ'd
He frat.
downstairs. He
Oh,
was
really?
happy with being downstairs. He did
Okay.
not want to be upstairs with us.
Definitely did not want to.
Shout out to Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
Yes.
However, to answer your question, the Divas Brunch is something that John Ray Stower does every year. It was something that her mother, I cannot remember her name. I'm so sorry. She started doing, and it's kind of like in respect of her and in
Okay.
memorial of her. I think they gave out 6 scholarships this year. There's usually some type of dance group, a singer, there's a band. It's to empower other women and to bring women together. So this year she sold over 500 tickets, and she sold out in April. The show was this past
sold
Saturday.
out back in April.
So
Wow.
normally she have it at the end of July, but because of the RNC, it was in August this year. But every year it gets bigger, it gets better. There's always a spotlight for the models to represent her brand, Jazzy Ray Collection. But this year was white. Last year I think it was yellow.
So each year she
different
does
color
a different
thing.
color.
Yep. And
Okay.
then the year before that was pink. And next year it's possibly gonna be denim.
Oh,
And when she says it sells out, it sells out. Like
Right.
as soon as she drop it, it sells out. And she
Yeah.
do VIP, and she does regular admission. And this year she sold over 400 VIP.
that is crazy. I didn't know it was in honor of her mother, which is
Yeah.
actually very beautiful.
So cancer awareness as well.
Gotcha.
So, and then me and her had a conversation. I didn't realize. So her mom and my mom both died of pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
So yeah. And this was the 8th year.
Yep.
So
So and she
Yeah.
was just like, oh, I didn't really want to do it. But I'm glad that she pushed through, because it was something that us as the women in the room,
They
us as the
needed
models, we all kind of needed it.
We all
So
needed it.
was
We were-
super,
yeah.
super
My mother
dope
passed
to
from
be a part of it.
pancreatic cancer as well.
huh?
My mother passed from pancreatic
She
cancer.
did?
Yeah. I say it's colon cancer so I can expedite my colonoscopy, because I say it's hereditary. So I have to,
Okay, yeah, we gotta definitely talk about that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was good. What I love is that the women come in whatever color she picked, they gonna wear that color for real.
And they shows
You know
out.
what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
you know how you say, we gonna have a black party. Here comes somebody with some green on. No, all them women had on their white.
I was telling Ruthia, I
It was
was
beautiful.
at Marquette that day because my daughter is in the cotillion and her
Mhm.
practice was that Saturday. And I was
Okay.
sitting out there waiting, hot in the mug, just waiting.
Mhm.
And I saw these people walking around white. And I was like, what the hell is going on down here? I didn't know.
You thought
I
it
didn't
was
pay
a
attention.
nurse
Us.
convention, didn't
Yeah.
you?
Then I found out all these women's was down there and I was just sitting outside.
They was looking good too. They
Yeah.
definitely showed up. Shout out to all the vendors that came into the
Absolutely.
space. Everybody that was in the room. I know Pitt's Mortuary was one of the main sponsors.
Mhm.
I'm gonna forget, but we are hoping to have John Ray on the show so we can talk more about it, and so we won't forget anybody. We'll just blame it on her if she forgets somebody.
Little known fact, Pitt's Mortuary was also the owners of Red Snapper.
Really?
I think I knew
Yeah,
that.
before they closed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I knew
the
that.
original Red Snapper, not the one that's on Lisbon.
Right.
The one that's on by Sherman Park.
Hmm.
The best one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was
Man.
I
man.
never had Red Snapper.
Man. Go get you get you
A
some perch.
bucket.
A perch
Man,
bucket. Man.
What you talking about?
It's the most perfect seasoned fish
Yes.
ever. The perfectest seasoned
Perfectly,
fish
yes.
ever.
And it's not
That one's
fishy,
closed now,
like
isn't
man,
it?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
only the one on Lisbon, but that's not the same.
I don't think
people.
that's the same. I don't think that's the
So
same
it's
family.
not
Nothing
like
against them. It's
the
just
same.
not. It's
Yeah,
not.
it
It's
just
just
ain't the
not.
same, and
It's
that's
not them,
okay.
yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
times change, people change, things change, so we just have
Mhm.
to.
It would be hot and stinky in there. You standing there waiting for your fish.
And man,
It was worth it. It was worth it.
It
that
smell
used
like
to
leaners?
be, huh?
No, it
It smell
smelled.
like
It was just
leaners?
fish.
It smelled like
Oh.
fish.
It was just a fish market because
That
they had no
used to
air. It was just.
be
It was in there frying fish.
my kids' favorite meal. If I came home with a perch bucket, man, that would be.
So my mama really
be the
just didn't love
best
me
thing.
enough to share because I'm pretty sure she had red snappers before.
I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure.
That's rude.
I don't know
Oh,
why
yeah.
people. My mother would get catfish sometimes, but I didn't like the catfish.
Yeah.
It was
But see, my
awful,
mama,
perch.
she preferred to cook her own. She liked to cook the fish. So
Nah, it's just too much fishy smell in the house.
Mm-hmm.
as long as she ain't cooking chitlins,
Oh, no, thank you.
I'm going to Granny house.
No,
Right.
thank you.
No, we
I
didn't
ain't
have
doing
that.
all that.
Well, thank you. I didn't know that. I didn't know the extent of the diva branch. I just knew that it was divas
Mhm.
there. And
Yeah.
and no niggas.
So when we bring John Ray on, we'll have her break it down a little bit
Mhm.
more and give some more detail. And
I'm gonna have to explain to her my heartbreak, my Marquette heartbreak.
Oh my
For
god!
sure.
Yeah, it broke my heart twice. That's
Twice?
My second time. My first time my heart was broken was when I didn't get accepted to Marquette. One,
Oh,
when
I
I
ain't
was
even
college,
apply to Marquette. I knew
and
it.
then I applied for a job and didn't get the job. So all right, Marquette just don't want me.
Well,
it's kind of tough to get in there. Though.
Yeah.
but then you be looking at some of them kids that they got now. and
That's
you be
why I
like, y'all
applied.
let in
That's
any
why I
fucking
applied.
kid.
I was like, oh, you got in. All right.
Right.
I'm about to go.
I definitely should have applied because I should have got in.
I was like,
I was actually really, really smart. I don't know what the fuck happened.
you start fighting teachers.
I was still smart then.
I just made that up. I didn't even know that was true. But
I still was smart.
Oh man, I was still smart even though
I was-
I gave Miss Kathy a 2-piece.
First of all, his name.
I was up there stealing on the teachers.
First of all, his name was Elmo. His name was Amoroso. We called him Elmo.
Oh no.
And he was the math teacher in my freshman year. And yes, I whooped his ass.
What school is this?
This was Washington, but I told my mama I didn't want to go there, so that was her problem.
A grown man teacher let you be in my. That would have did. That would have pissed me off.
He was mad because I kept correcting him on how to teach us math. I'm like, the class is failing because you're teaching it wrong.
I can hear you saying this. I can see you as a teenager. I don't think you've changed. You're just
Mm-mm.
grown version.
You know, they put me out the class and told me I had to stay in detention for his class every single day. And then when they realized my grades got better after not being in his classroom, they switched me to AP classes. So,
Oh,
Wow.
so you proved a point.
yeah.
I'll never get my math teacher.
Was he-
He sucked too.
Was he foreign?
He was white. He wasn't African American. I
Okay.
don't know what he was, but
All right.
Yeah,
I was trying to
my
be
math
not
teacher,
be racist.
Mr. Farecki at King. He was awful. The whole class failed. The whole entire class.
they
failed.
asked me to he,
like
he
for
was
real.
kind of smart and was like, well, why don't you get up here and teach it? And then the way I explained it to people, they were just like, oh, that makes sense. he was like, "Get out." And I was like, "Bye." The fuck?
You got a button.
Oh,
I got a button that says
yeah,
the
you
fuck.
got a button. This ain't the fuck. That's
Yeah,
what
I've been
I'm
saying that for a long time because I ain't give a
You said
care.
the fuck back then.
I swear to God, I did.
You said the
I
fuck in
believe you
2000.
I was good academically, but in them 4 minutes in the hallway,
He was cutting up in
I
between
was living
classes.
my best life.
Mhm.
I blame my mama for making me go to Washington. I didn't want to go
He
there.
was a player.
No, I wasn't. I was a sweetheart. I was not mean. My boyfriend name was Dominique.
That don't mean
Technically, I stole him from somebody else, but her name was Katie.
And you were so sweet. Well, you were still.
She didn't deserve him.
All
He
right.
looked like Ludacris.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right, Ruthie.
What else you
On
got going?
that note,
We've been gone for what, 3 weeks? What else you had going on? I've been overwhelmed.
Yeah, just the show coming up in Chicago on the 22nd that me and Ruthie are walking in for. Culture of Curves.
That's the name of it.
Mhm.
Dang, I've been saying Curve Closet.
Yeah, but Curve Culture is the name.
Okay. Oh God.
So yeah, or Culture's Closet. She kind of go between, but
Okay.
so yeah, so we're gonna be walking in that. I'm excited about that. So for right now, that's pretty much kind of all I got going. I'm working on my business.
Good for you, because I ain't been working on
Yeah,
mine.
you need to. So I'm definitely working on my business. I'm putting a lot of hours. I am actually, I didn't tell you this. Started taking.
Wait, so then pause it because I want to hear it first.
I started taking my real estate class.
Now they heard it too.
So yeah, that's okay.
I don't want to hear what the internet.
I'll give you more detail later.
Ow!
You all right?
She just hit me.
So that's what I got going. What about you?
I've been overwhelmed a lot. I don't want to say in a good way, because being overwhelmed is never good, but I've been signing up for a bunch of stuff that I want to do, but at the same time, it's been like very, very draining, very, very stressful, because now I feel like I'm lacking in certain areas because my time has been filled up with this, or I feel like I'm not able to do certain stuff because, I got something, like I haven't been sleeping properly, and it's been affecting me emotionally and mentally. So this weekend, I took the time after the brunch. I took the time to just pour more into myself and do like some resetting.
Okay.
So I was able to deep clean my house, and that really gave.
Don't that make you feel better?
It made me feel, because every day I came to my house, I felt like, oh, I want to pick this up or I want to clean this, but I just felt like I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the time. So getting my house clean and back in order really made me feel like a sense of calmness.
But I feel like it make you, like, I sleep better. Like I cleaned out my closet last night and I slept so much better. Like I don't know, just
it ain't nothing about
clean house,
it's something about like clean sheets and fresh shower, and you can just lay. So yeah, I lit my little candles, turned on my music. Like I really enjoyed just cleaning. Even though my son said the house ain't dirty, to me, it my house represented my anxiety.
Yeah, I understand.
And it was
that.
just like, oh my God, like it was like everything was all over the place. To me, it wasn't in order. So being able to clean and do what I needed to do really helped calm my nerves.
Yeah, I get that. I remember when I was married and my husband was addicted to drugs, and our house was very chaotic, which it showed in like even how it looked in the house. It would be stuff all over the place, not because I was a dirty person, but because my mind was chaotic and I was living in chaos. That kind of it shows. So yeah, I get that totally.
I definitely was like,
that's probably why I'm a little bit OCD now. I don't want nothing moved out of place.
Listen, I be coming in the house, even though my house was out of place to me, it'd be certain stuff I come in, I'd be like, Tyler, what you do that for? He'd be like, what are you talking about? That's moved.
Right.
And to me, it makes sense. But to him, it was just like, we live here. Stuff is going to be moved. But yeah. So I've been slowly taking stuff off my plate. I've been slowly refilling my cup. And I'm very, very thankful for the people that, I'm surrounded with that's been helping me get through it.
Right. Same.
So, yeah. What about you, Tommy? I don't care. I'm sorry.
That was perfect timing. Jerk. I have been resetting after my first vacation in a long time. From we went to Puerto Rico with my homies for one of my friend's brother my friend's brother is getting married, and that's where he wanted to celebrate. So we went down there for about 4 or 5 days and had a ball. My daughter right now is participating in the AKA cotillion for 2024.
He sounds so excited.
And it's kind of a legacy because my oldest daughter won in 2014, so this is going to be an opportunity for her to win as well. So
Okay.
How can we support? Or is there a way to?
Yeah, there is. You can actually purchase ads for the ad book, which ranges from $25 up to like $1,000 or something like that for a full page ad. But you can actually get your name in the book by donating $25.
Okay.
But it doesn't even have to be $25. You can just basically whatever you want to do, because all the money she accumulates and the points she gets for all of the events that she attends, like the Saturday event was like a volunteer event or something. She gets points for doing that. Right. And doing volunteer opportunities for different occasions. She's doing a workshop here, and I'm going to help her with that. She's going to do a cartooning workshop here for the community. She gets points for that, but also cool. As much money as the person who accumulates the most money actually wins. That's when we understand. All the other stuff is like, yeah, and all those points, it ends up being who earns the most money. But then they get the money, because when Taj won, she took home like $5,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that helped out with, which I thought was a lot. It helped out with the first semester of college.
Facts, because
I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Listen,
I thought it was a scholarship.
Yeah, I remember those days. Like, I got a full ride, and then the school Hurricane Katrina happened, and then Alberta was like, we'll give you this much money, and I'm thinking I'm set, and they was like, no, we're going to divide this money up into. I was like, so I can't afford my books. Matter of fact, I'm going down there with Hurricane Katrina. Forget it. Never mind. I'll float.
No, they sent that $5,000, and she still had like $6,000 left for the first semester. I was like, that's not even that's just for the first semester. Yeah, I gotta go sell ass for the second semester.
Okay.
I mean, it got real. I ain't gonna disclose what really happened, but she graduated.
That's good.
One of y'all was selling ass. Hopefully it was you.
Man.
Sacrifice.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
But she did actually take it upon herself, because at one point I was like, I can't do this no more. You need to go, because she was like a 4.0 student. I was like, why didn't they give me no money? What the hell's going on? And
always some type of money out there.
So she took it upon herself, because because I said, these are the words I actually invigorated her. And I said, you might need to come home. And she was like, hell no. Because she was at Tennessee State. So she went down there and figured something out.
Like, I just found out.
And they start giving her money.
That you can, any out-of-state students, and I don't know if it's for any school, but this is something that I learned at the Divas Brunch, that you can get extra money for just being an out-of-state student.
Yeah, I don't know where.
No, she said have them remove it. You know how when you go out of state, you have to pay out-of-state fees, and which makes the cost become a lot. So she was saying, talk to them about having those out-of-state fees removed, and then it'll help bring down.
Yeah, that's real difficult, because I did that I tried it for 4 years in Louisiana, and I'm mad because I inherited land in Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah.
You still got it?
Yeah. But I still have.
Tommy get cuter and cuter every single time. We got this podcast.
I am not.
Anyway, my point being, that I was in school and I was technically a resident because I had land in my name in the state, and they still would not give me. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But they would. It was so hard trying to get out of state tuition way. It was very difficult. They don't. It's not something they will They will disclose how to do easily.
That's wow.
Yeah, very crazy. Okay, y'all want to jump into this topic? Nicole, you want to introduce it? She like, hell no. I mean, you came up with the topic.
They can read it, right? I mean, people up there.
He said they can read.
They look at it.
Well, I mean, that's fine. So we just had decided to last season, I think me and Ruthia were involved with people And when we did our Dear Diary,
Don't remind me.
it's okay. It's it's all learning lessons. So when we did our Dear Diary, um, we asked them to listen to it, to our specific ones that that we did. Like the one I did, I asked him to listen to. The one Ruthia did, she had him listen to.
Ooh.
And it led to us realizing that we really didn't have the support that we should have had.
Mm-hmm.
And it also made me realize that he wasn't really, although we, of course we knew this, he wasn't mature enough to handle where I was in life in terms of like my healing and what I was going through, and just the whole lack of support during that time. That kind of just, was a turnoff. So we kind of want to talk about that on this episode of how we allow these people in our life who really are not pouring into us. Like we're giving so much, but then we're not giving back. Mm-hmm. And so, we want to kind of talk about that and share our experience of, exactly, more details of what happened, how it made us feel, and like, lessons learned. What did we learn from that? And what are we going to do to be better going forward? Oh. So we definitely had similar experiences. I think yours might have been a little more dramatic than mine, but still.
Wait, but you both foreseen someone,
during
that period?
Yeah.
So coincidentally, that y'all both don't have anybody right now,
right?
So y'all can healthily reflect on that situation.
Exactly.
I'm already triggered.
Don't be triggered.
Wait, you the one who wrote that title in the chat?
Well, we had said that was going to be the topic the last episode. Mm-hmm. We was like, okay, that should be the topic. So with my experience, I was like knee deep in the whole healing process and just learning to talk about it. And that particular episode was my first time fully giving my story. Mm-hmm. So it was very raw for me, and I was very vulnerable. So for me to allow someone that I cared about to know all of this information about me, and I needed him to know so he could know how to navigate in a relationship with me. I asked him to listen, and he said he would. I understood that it would be difficult for anybody to accept because it's a difficult situation regardless. And I do now realize that I did say in the episode that it was a trigger. So that could have played a role. Oh. And it's not necessarily he, quote unquote, is a trigger, but that was his name is a trigger. His zodiac sign is a trigger. His just different things about him that was kind of triggering for me because of my story. It was difficult because immediately after him listening, I did know that he said he couldn't finish the full episode right away. But a lot of people that listened to my episode said that after the first 18 to 22 minutes, they had to take a break because it was very hard to listen to. Mm-hmm. So I expected that. However, he never told me he finished the episode. I had to ask. And after he finished, he got weird. Mm-hmm. And it took him some time to process. And I honestly think he's still processing. But for me to be that open and that vulnerable, I expected more from him. But I understand that if he just wasn't ready, I can't expect anybody to be ready for that. Right. But it was very difficult for him to treat me the way that he did. To me, I felt like he looked at me as I was dirty or I was damaged or like, type of thing. It was more so like how do you look at me any different? So when he decided he needed a break, And I asked him why, and his response basically was he didn't know how to support me in that situation. He didn't know how to look at me after knowing this information.
Mhm.
So then when he decided that, oh, I want to spin the block and let's be better because now he's had time to process it, my question was, well, what the fuck changed? Because my story does not change. What happened
Right.
to me does not change. What have you done to now be able to accept it? And he didn't really have an answer. I think he just missed me because I'm a fucking vibe.
What would be the answer that would have satisfied you?
I don't know. I don't know if there would have been an answer, but
If he would have said you are a fucking vibe and
Mhm.
you are you're worth more than that story.
I think I'd have been like, duh. But I mean, but that's my honest reaction, like, duh. But I think I would have needed him. I think I would have needed him to say that I've taken the time to navigate and process it. Like I've done some of my own healing work. Because who's to say that didn't trigger him?
Right.
I would have been okay if he would have just been open. He was just kind of like, woo, I need a break. Like sex got awkward as fuck. Like, okay, well, shit, it wasn't that good anyway. But I was at least trying.
I'm gonna pull
I'm just saying.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
I'm just, but
don't say nothing, Tommy.
I also think that it was awkward because we both were in a space where it was like I'm overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because
is
I'm
it
in healing.
because he had the conversation with you, or
I think it was some of both. Even before, it was kind of like because I'm knee deep in my healing, I'm overthinking of all of the things that I have in my mind. Well, for me, if I'm someone who has been has sexual trauma in my mind, for whatever reason, it tells me how are you enjoying something that broke you. So
yeah, that's
I'm
tough.
always overthinking it.
That's tough.
So yeah, it ultimately ended the relationship.
I was gonna ask that a while ago because I remember it was the distance between that episode and that situation. It was close, but I was like,
close.
I wonder if it was
It
related.
was a little lingering in there, but technically his response after hearing it and knowing my full truth, because he knew parts of it, but hearing the full truth I think was a bit much for him. But the way he responded afterwards to me was like, yeah.
I don't fully believe this. What was his sign? What was his zodiac sign? I don't fully believe on all this, but I'm just in a theory.
What is he? Is he a Gemini? I believe he's a Gemini because it's the same zodiac sign.
When's his birthday?
May or June.
When was it?
His birthday is in May.
Yeah, a Gemini.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, and I mean, I get it. I did say he was a trigger because his name is George.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
So. Ain't many niggas like named George either. Not these days.
Listen,
but
I mean,
it seemed like it would have brought you close. It seemed like that would have brought you closer together to know that you opened up that to that magnitude.
It has definitely left me in a position to be like, do I tell people in the future? Like, do I just hide that part of me?
I already know.
What do you think, Nicole?
Walk by me every day.
I think you probably already know what I think. I'm not saying like you meet a guy and you instantly like, hey, but I do think that it is something that at some point, maybe even prior to becoming intimate, that they know, because you're going to be in the act and they're going to be like, what the hell wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of
start screaming.
Yeah, just so that they're, prepared.
Because
I mean, shut up, Ruthia. It's not that you owe anybody anything, but then again, if you sharing yourself, that's something that people need,
okay, so
need to know. Tommy, what you think?
A little bit more information that I probably either don't want to know or you don't want to share, one or two. But in the intimate circumstances, is it more initiated by him or was it a mutual initiation?
In that situation, it was always him.
Okay. Which tends to lead to the trigger, because I'm not a master in it, but I have been in circumstances where I've been just something like that has been disclosed to me. And when it happens naturally, it tends to kind of go by the wayside a little bit because it's a safe space. You've developed a safe space. But if it's like you tell this and all of a sudden someone's like, I don't give a fuck, let's go for it. Even though that's not what you're that's not the signal that you're giving. Which I don't know if that was or not, but
I know in that particular space, like I said, I was really, really like deep into the healing. So I don't know who I was in that moment.
Yeah. So mentally you probably weren't even there and was just in the state of that's the space that you were in. But then if the flip side, we get chastised sometimes for not initiating.
True.
Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with me?
You
Why are
see
you
me
trying?
toot this ass up. The hell?
Right. I mean, it's kind of a mix. It's kind of a mixed.
Not tooted up.
It's a mixed message sometimes. It's like sometimes they're like you want it, sometimes you don't. You know, I would definitely play it by ear, but I think I would probably have waited way too long thinking that I didn't want to actually make it seem like that was all I wanted and not to want to trigger. But yeah, his fault.
Just I don't get it.
Poor Georgie.
I think
Georgie, pudding pie.
I think
that was actually his nickname, Pudding.
That right there should have
That's
made me
country.
quit him.
I
would have quit him just because.
Two country names.
I just
gizzards.
would have quit him just because his name was Pudding. I am not
Pudding.
calling you that.
I did it because it bothered him.
Mhm.
Hey, Pudding.
Yeah, that would bother me too.
I don't think
now.
I don't think that bothered him. I think you bothered him.
I think so. When I did my episode and I sent it to him to listen to, initially, I know he didn't listen to it. And then it made me feel a way when I had to ask him, did he listen to it? Like, why the hell I got to ask you, did you listen to something that was part of my healing? I just was really bothered by that. So then when he finally
did it make you feel like he didn't care enough?
Yeah, it made me feel like he didn't care. And it made me feel and even more than that, it made me realize that he really truly was not ready for a healed person. He was not ready to be in a healed relationship or relationship with a healed person because like in that relationship with him, because it was such a different experience because I talked about him being a lot younger than me and I had never dated younger men. Like that really wasn't my thing. So it was a new experience, and I definitely went into it being very vulnerable, and I was very vulnerable with him, and I was very honest with him, and I felt like he was vulnerable with me and honest with me initially. But then when he started to see like I really truly was working on my healing and that was important, like I would be like try to talk to him about stuff. I'll give example. So we're maybe about 90 days into the relationship and his ex called and he told me. And so when he told me, instead of me being, what that bitch calling you for? I said, how you feel about that? How does that make you feel? Because I recognized that they had a 4-year relationship. They was broken up for a little bit more than a year before I came into the picture. So my question to him was, how did that make you feel? And he was like, what you mean? I said, how did it make you feel? Did you feel like you missed her? Did you feel like that yearning for her? Did you feel like, fuck that bitch? Like, how did you feel? Right?
Did your heart skip a beat, nigga?
Yeah, all of that. So he was just looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, that's all valid stuff. I said, we only 90 days in. Like, we enjoy each other. We having a blast. However, if your heart feel like it needs to be there with her, then that's where you need to be,
or at least
try
take the time to process.
To try to figure out. Because I was like, do we need to stop what we're doing?
Mhm.
Do you need to go to take the time to go be with her or whatever it is that you want to do? And then he was like, no, like, I love where I'm at with you. Like, we having a great time. I enjoy you, like, you get me, you understand me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. So then we continue on. So then she get wind that now he really seeing somebody, because now we into about 9-10 months, and now of course for real feelings are involved or whatever. And she pop up again, and I again it's like, hey,
Oh, she a papa hoe.
tell me how you feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I know some time has passed, you've been with me, but
Why
feel
does
like
she
you
still
wanna...
have access to pop up?
Well, my understanding, again, I can't fact check, I'm not gonna fact check, was that one of his friends seen her out. She asked about him. Dude gave her the number. That was what my understanding was. I believe it, because they too also, like, when his friends will be around, they will be like, they would
They'll finally get to see her little face. That's Tommy.
I could tell, like, they really didn't like his happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You just know, like, they really didn't like his
They
happiness,
like
because they felt
The
like,
miserable version.
yeah, and then they felt like I was gonna take him from them because I made him so happy.
So, do you feel like your healing was a mirror to him to show him like what he isn't doing, and maybe that was kind of like dang, like maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm not ready.
That it definitely could be, but as we continued on in the relationship, and he started like kind of like tripping, and then he said something to me one time like, you're not aggressive enough. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not aggressive
He
enough?
wants you to stab
What
him?
you want me to do, knock you in your head? I told him, I'll knock you in your head if that's what you really want. You get what I'm saying? But what do you mean I'm not being aggressive? I guess because I was so chill in the relationship, like,
Yeah.
I didn't check phones, I didn't get
So
rah
they
rah rah.
think that that's a response to you not liking them enough, or you're not involved enough, or committed enough.
But
or,
I was
because they're used to toxic.
But I was very, like, I communicate with him my thoughts, my feelings, how I felt about him. You know what I mean? I always communicated those things with him, but I don't know. I guess he wanted me to
Be toxic.
to be toxic, and I refused to do. I refused to do it, and I told him, like, I'm not going to do all that. I'm not gonna cuss you out. I'm not gonna act up in front of your friends. I'm not gonna do whatever, because there was a one time where we was at his house. Tommy is funny. We was at his house, and he had friends there,
Mhm.
and we had ordered some food, and I was like, well, I'll go pick it up, because I am not the type of female where I'm trying to be in the mix with you and your friends. I don't need to be in the mix of all of that. So literally I leave, and I don't remember what exactly transpired,
Mhm.
but I was coming back, and then he had sent me a text message in the midst of me coming back, and I didn't see the text message, because, like, if I'm in my car, my music playing, I don't
Yeah, when her
always
music
get.
playing, she don't hear shit.
I don't always get the text, right? So by the
Mhm.
time I got the text, I'm in the house at his door, and he was like, so how you enter into his house is like, you enter here, and then this is the kitchen area, but past it is the living room. But the people in the living room where his couch was situated couldn't see me, but he could see me from where he was sitting, and he was kind of talking crazy to me. And I'm in the kitchen and look at him like,
The fuck?
keep on talking crazy. Like, you really don't want me to show out in front of your people. That's
What
not
was the
my
text
character.
message?
I think he asked me to stop to get something, and I missed it. And so when I got there, he was like, I text you, and you all in front of his friends. And I was like, who are you talking to? My nigga, who you talking to? Like, I don't talk to you that way. Don't talk to me that way. That's what he mean. If I would have backhanded him, then he would have been in love with me, right? So then when he see me in the kitchen, and I'm looking at him like, you want to get embarrassed in front of your little friends? Because this ain't what you want. Like, don't talk to me like that in front of them. You know what I mean? So when he saw like me looking, then he wanted to try to rush me, like rush up on me and trying to hug up on me. And I was like, no,
So
we're not doing that.
That also could be like what his friends is used to. the environment. Like if he wasn't
Mhm.
like that without his friends, it could have been like, oh, so you just let your girl do this and that and da, da, da. So that could have been a response to man up type of thing.
Yeah,
his
but I
friends.
wouldn't
If
be.
they all
I didn't
young.
create drama in his house. I didn't bring my bullshit to his house. I respected his house. I treated him like the grown man that he told me that he was when I met him. You get what I'm saying? I didn't have
That
to
he
mother
told you he
him.
was.
Right, but I didn't mother him or I didn't baby him. Like I allow him the space to completely be a man. And then I'm real like I'm not checking nothing. I've been
I'm not doing that either.
that time in my life where
I
I'm
ain't never
checking.
did
I'm
it.
not checking nothing. If I gotta check your phone or I'm trying to figure this out, I don't need to be with you.
I
I'm
have
not doing
never-
all of that stuff.
I have never.
And I told him like that's not what I'm doing. So maybe in his mind he felt like I didn't care. Maybe
But I've
because
been
I
told
wasn't
that before.
checking phones or I
Like,
wasn't.
you ain't
checking
never tried to
this
stab me or
I'm
nothing.
not doing all of that. I'm just not. So when we got to
So
back.
people actually expect that.
Yeah. they
Yeah, so
expect
you kind of
toxic.
missed it where he said that I wasn't aggressive enough. And I don't know what he wanted me to do. Like anytime we had a situation, I would be like, hey, let's talk about it. But it wouldn't be like no yelling. Like I wouldn't be yelling. You're an adult. I'm not gonna be yelling
But
at
that
you. Like
also
let's
has
have
to
a
do with
conversation.
the way he was brought up.
Right.
If that's what he's seen and that's what he think communicating is and
Mhm.
relationship is, that's just
Yeah, and that's really at
what
the end
you
of
were
the day
providing
what it
was
was.
unfamiliar.
Yeah, he definitely, couldn't handle
That's all.
how I was. I'm not doing all that, but then the fact. So when I'm asked him to listen to this podcast, so eventually he said he listened to it, but
Did y'all talk about it?
yeah, but instead of him saying, "Wow," you know what I mean? I'm sorry that happened to you, or whatever it is. I can't put words what I think he should say. That ain't everybody don't respond the
Mhm.
same way, but it was more about. I think y'all should do y'all podcast like this. And I was like, hold up, nigga. Like, you missed the whole point of, you know what I mean? Instead of him coming at that, he came and trying to critique how we was doing the podcast. So then now I'm irritated. So I'll
You
be
can't
like,
critique something you ain't even listening to. So
Hold
we
on.
can't make it for your audience if you're not
how
part of
about
the
this?
audience.
We're your podcast, nigga. The podcast you've been working on for 5 years before I met you. Like, where's your podcast?
In the words of Nicole.
Yikes. Yeah. So, like, how you gonna tell me about something that you not even doing? And so then that brought up some other things later that I made him feel even more insecure, and it almost created like a jealousy. Like I said I was gonna do this with my friends. This is
Mhm.
before he even got with me. And then I told him that I was doing the podcast, and then he still never did his podcast. Now I done went on and did a whole full season, and I think that it made him feel some type of way that he hadn't accomplished what he said he was gonna accomplish. Now again, I tried to assist him, but I can't.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna
How did
force
his
you.
response to listening to the podcast make you feel though? Did it make you feel like he didn't care? You didn't feel seen? You didn't feel validated?
All of that. Because I'm like, you supposed to be my guy. Like you support me just like I support you. Like when he was having his issues, I supported him. And I don't think that it's unrealistic that I still have the expectation that you support me in something that
Yeah.
I really hadn't shared with a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because I was completely vulnerable. Like,
So we had the same experience. He just responded differently.
yeah, definitely different
Like,
responses.
he kind of pulled back and kind of like wanted to be aggressive and agitated about it and make it more about him, or on my end where he just didn't know how
Mhm.
to communicate it.
Right.
And he tried to take his time and
But-
figure it out. Like boy minds don't.
But he
don't
didn't
try
want to
figure it out on
hear.
your own.
But he didn't want to hear my past, and that was an issue that I realized later in our relationship. He never wanted to discuss previous relationships, and I'm not saying we're gonna get up and be like, this happened. I don't mean that, because I don't
Right.
really think you need
But I'm
to
a person.
share
I was
all
a
of that
person
thing.
before I was with you.
But on my episode, I was talking about my daddy issues, and I just want him to listen so he could get a better understanding of who I am,
Mhm.
just like I was taking the time to get a better understanding of who he was when he discussed with me about his father issues, his mama issues, and I was just expecting that we would both get a better understanding of each other, but
Maybe you were a
instead he
trigger
just
to him.
I really
multiple different
honestly
ways.
I do believe at the end of the day that I did become a trigger to him with some things that he wasn't really ready to face, and he saw me facing my stuff, and then I started to like really start to call him out on stuff, where I would notice like he would try to project, and I'd be like, no, we not projecting
Keep that
today.
shit over there.
Like if you feeling some type of way or you having some type of issue, let's talk about it, but you don't get to project your shit onto me. Fair. So let's have the conversation. But he didn't know how to have adult conversations. But I understand why, because I went out with his mom and I watched the mama get fucked up. She got drunk and then she started acting up, and then she started calling her man and cussing him out and being disrespectful,
so that's the relationship
and whatever.
That he was
so
used
that's
to
what
seeing.
he was used to. So because I wasn't cussing him out, whatever, he didn't know how to. He didn't know what to do with me. But I literally, from the time I was with her, when she was sober, I watched her through the whole night. I could see the progression, and the drunker she got, the more she act like him when he get intoxicated. By the end of the night, I was looking at the same person. I was looking at the female version of him.
So the common thing that you'll find commonalities between how y'all interacted with the male in your life at the time, but y'all find the commonalities of how y'all reacted. Because right now I see y'all both is like, this ain't working. I'm out.
I mean, dude he just progressively got worse, and then finally I just had to. And I don't even know if I've even shared with you some more stuff that he did, but yeah,
in traumatic relationships, in trauma bond relationships, y'all would still be together, trying to chase this kind of, trying to appease a person who is showing like this kind of like.
But I think that's because we've done the work, we've done the healing work. You know what I mean? So when it got to me, I mean, we talking about it now. So my cutoff point was like he was already getting on my nerves. You know what I mean? And I was already like and it's a flaw. I'm gonna say it's a flaw. Like I will ride with you. I'm gonna rock and ride with you till I can't no more. You know what I mean? Because that's just who I am. So it was getting to the point where I was just really get like sick of him, and I would just kind of like go, kind of not answer him, sometimes or whatever. But then he, when he saw like I had pulled all the way back, and I really wasn't like I had went a couple months, I think, where I wasn't fucking with him, right? So then he calls me. Yeah, okay. I had went. Almost 2 months. So like maybe like 45 days. Or I went where I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do this. So then now, of course, he want to chase because he like, okay, she really ain't finna pay me no attention. So he showed up in Milwaukee and love bombed me. But by then I had kind of like went through my process, and I was kind of like not trusting him. Like I wasn't believing him, but I allowed him to believe that I was believing him. Because in my head I was like, no, this is love bombing. I know what he got. Yeah, he tried to manipulate me, right? So then he goes back to Chicago, and then that weekend the following weekend we were supposed to get together, and then that Thursday we get into an argument because his mom had invited me to her birthday party, and he didn't like that. He didn't like the fact that his mom really liked me. So
something wrong with him.
Yeah, something wrong with him. He just didn't like. He was like, "How's she going?" Because he one of them people that felt like that's my mama. If I ain't fucking with you, why she fucking with you? He was that type of person.
All my exes should be.
Well,
mad
I don't get down like that, and that's the same with me. So we get into a big old argument or whatever. And when he starts the argument, I said to myself, he trying to start an argument because he got something else. Something else on his agenda. You know what I'm saying? So he want to start an argument so I don't come there because he want to go do whatever it is that he want to do. I don't even give a shit because I'm not really caring at this point. But the final straw, Tommy, this shit took me out. I called Ruthia. I was like, this motherfucker crazy. So he talking to me and he like being super disrespectful. I was like, hey, I'm grown as fuck. Don't be talking to me like that. Call me back when you get your shit together. I'm not your child. I hung up on his ass, right? So then he keep on calling. I won't answer the phone. I go on about my bed. Well, then now he FaceTiming me. So when
He was calling
finally,
you a lot.
yes. So fine, I think he called me like 30 times. So he FaceTimes me, right? So when he FaceTime me, I answer like, "What the fuck you want?" This nigga got his gun to his head. Talking about, I'm gonna kill myself and you gonna watch. I just hung up on him. So then he keep calling back. So I answer again. He still got the gun. So I hang up on him. I call his mama. I was like, "Hey, you need to go downstairs to see about your kid. I don't have time for this bullshit."
Your kid.
You know what I mean? I was upset. Like I was crying. Like I was upset. Like who does that? I never experienced that in my life. But it was manipulation. He was trying to manipulate me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, no.
You
So
definitely ain't trying to kill yourself. You
Definitely
dialing the
not.
phone number 30 times.
So his mama goes
Attention
down there
with the gun in your hand, like.
No, he had it like this. No, it was like this.
But I'm saying, how he call it?
Exactly. I was just like, so his mom goes,
Call Nicole.
Right. And then she calls me back. You're so stupid. Right. Should I do this side? You're stupid. So his mama calls me back and
suicide
was
is very
just
serious.
like, it is very serious.
Very serious topic.
But you're not gonna call nobody.
I had to think about it. We were here laughing.
You know. I know we talking about his stupidness. We not laughing at suicide. We laughing at
we the wrong people to be telling this story to right now.
Yeah, we laughing at his ignorance because that's what that was.
Oh, she answered the phone. I'm gonna FaceTime her.
Right. So I was just
she can't see the gun while I'm talking to her. I gotta FaceTime her so she can see me with the gun. Look at ass.
I'm so sorry. Where our stuff at?
No, it gotta be this one.
It ain't none
They
of
gonna
them.
all come on in 20 minutes.
Man, sit your dumb ass down and shut up.
Or this one.
I'm not doing this with y'all. On the next episode.
Right, Tommy, right.
I'm not doing this with y'all. Oh goodness.
So wait, fast forward. He's still alive, correct?
Yes, he's
okay.
still alive.
All
His
right.
mama called me.
That's me laughing. That's clear this up.
Right. But he flipped it and told his mama something like, I might be crazy, but I ain't that crazy. Then why the hell you call me doing that shit, right?
So who actually ended the relationship?
Me.
So that's different. I was dumb.
I told him to get the fuck on. So that following weekend, I did have to go to Chicago.
So I really
of course,
could've
I
been a
had 2
comforter.
shows. So his mama was like, well, you could just stay with me, right? I said, look, I ain't got no time for you, so I'm not gonna be fooling with him. So, but then by then I was so mad because like after that situation happened, then it was radio silence with him, right? So then of course
You
you
didn't
know,
respond the way he needed you to.
right. So I'm there and I was like, you know what, fuck this. So I go over there and I bang on this fucking door like the fucking police. Wait.
So she became just as crazy.
No, I just not. So then when he opened up the door, I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, you traumatized my life. Who the fuck does that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, went off. And I was like, I'm going to tell you what. Don't fucking call me. Don't talk to me. You see me, act like you don't know me or whatever. He was like,
He was so in love in that moment because you was giving him the attention.
he might have. And then he put me out of his house.
Oh,
And
no.
then I
But
was
that's what
like,
he wanted.
no,
he really wanted to do you up.
That was that
listen,
attention
so
and
wait,
toxicity
so
he wanted.
then I leave, right? I blocked them, all of that. So I leave. I did. No, I promise. That was the last time I
said
had
she
a
gave him some?
conversation.
I
No, I
think
didn't.
she did.
I swear to goodness, I did not.
He had
So
the gun to his
then-
head.
I went to my show. Y'all stupid. Where
Shooting the club up. Shooting the club up, literally.
I'm so done with y'all.
No, seriously. So I go to my show, I come back. So later that night, I am at his mom's. So he comes up there. So no. It was before my show. So I had to wear a wig for the show. So I'm trying to braid my hair up real quick. And he comes there. So when he come there, I get all my stuff. And I was like, I'm finna go. Tell his mom, like, I'm out. I'm finna go. Like, I'm not gonna deal with dude. Like, I don't have nothing to say to him. And he was steady trying to have conversation. I was like, I don't have nothing. Like, don't talk to me. Like, I completely ignored him. Like, he wasn't there.
Mhm.
So then he was like, you don't have to leave because I'm here. And I just act like, well, nobody talking, right? So then I leave and I go to my show. So then I come back late because I have two more things I got to do in Chicago the next day. So no, I promise. So in the morning when I wake up and I look at my phone, I got all of these blocked callers. Because remember I told you I had blocked them. Like he had called me all night because he just what you said. He thought like, oh, okay. So now he thought I was gonna come down there and we was gonna be back to business as usual. No, sir, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So then when I left that morning to go to my next thing, he was like literally standing outside. I just walked past him, didn't address him, didn't speak to him, got in my car and left. And I have not heard from that man or talked to that man ever since. And that's been like 3 months ago.
So you broke his heart.
I don't care.
Okay. Noted.
So the difference of this is your Dear Diary episode made him run away,
Mm-hmm.
and your Dear Diary episode made him lose his mind.
Clearly.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically.
So you didn't respond to his need to be toxic. He needed you to be like, and not saying his mom was toxic, but obviously she gets a little bit of alcohol in her and she becomes that. That's what you showed.
Oh
her.
no, she toxic.
Oh, and alcohol just makes it. What was she drinking? Tequila?
I don't remember.
I
No,
do.
she drinking beer. She was drinking beer.
Ooh.
She had a lot of them. She probably had a 12
He
pack.
said, "Ooh, I wish y'all could."
She
see
probably
Tommy's
had a
face.
12 pack.
That's a whole different.
But they
drunk.
turned. I'm
That's
talking
a
about they
different kind of
turned
drunk,
in.
though.
She was
I wouldn't
identical.
know.
That's a
to
lot
him.
of beer. Like
Yeah.
to get drinks a lot of beer to get drunk.
But I said something to her. I was like,
Oh,
you know,
shit.
you always be talking about your son. I said, but y'all are the same person.
What kind of
when
beer
y'all
did she drink?
She drink Miller. She be drinking Miller.
She drinking like a 12-pack to get drunk.
Yeah, she was.
Well,
she was.
A lot of us ain't ready for the real relationship.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for
Really, just ain't, and we not in tune with our healing.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would not. I didn't ask a lot of questions like to his mom. So I think he didn't want me to be with the mom because he thought she was gonna tell whatever, right? So, but she didn't, and I didn't ask her questions about anything, but she would sometimes provide information. So he did have a very toxic relationship with the girl.
Mhm.
With the woman, I'm sorry, before me. So I guess she was married. He was a side dude. And then he became the main dude, but she never divorced her husband. And then the husband died. It was a whole situation.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot emotionally too.
Well, so the whole dumping process for me, after he listened to the episode, I didn't realize that he was processing and feeling some type of way because he didn't express that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going along with the relationship as if everything is still good. Like we still going out, we still spending the night at each other's house. Like we were still, in my mind, we were still great. He technically broke up with me over the phone.
Yeah, I remember that.
Technically,
I think I remember this.
like he called and I'm at work. I'm literally getting ready to get off, but it was more so of I don't remember what he said, but basically he broke up with me. And then after he realized my reaction, he kind of like tried to take it back. Like, no, that's not what I meant. So then that's where the lingering kind of went. But he also, it was crazy because he was comforting me through the whole process. And it's like, it took me a moment to realize I wasn't heartbroken because of the quote unquote breakup. I was heartbroken because this thing is that I've worked on so hard is still controlling my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how am I working this hard to get past it and heal past it, but it's still controlling me and it's still controlling my everyday life?
Do y'all think that the result would have been different if y'all would have sat together and watched the episode as opposed to allowing them to watch them on their own?
It's possible.
I don't know, because I don't know if he would have done that. You know what I
don't think he
mean?
would sat down with you and watched it with you?
I think it would have made a difference for me.
It would have been a little bit of guidance,
But
opportunity to actually ask questions on the spot a little bit.
I don't think I was ready to re-listen to the episode either.
I think he would have made excuses.
Okay. Accountability time. If it's hard for you to watch it again,
I knew it would be hard for him to accept it regardless.
I mean, not even accept it though. I mean, it's a tough listen and watch,
For sure.
because if it's somebody that you are getting to know, it takes on emotion. If it's somebody you want to get to know, it takes on emotion. So it's two different, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of the information is stuff that you're probably not ready to get at that moment.
So we had conversations, so he knew that I had been sexually assaulted. He didn't know in detail and how much. I think it was the raw emotions of it all. Like, he kind of knew, like, oh, okay, I know she was molested as a child and she's working through that. I know she's going to therapy, whatever, but I think it was the full on emotions that came with it, like how raw and unedited it was for him. And it was just like, that's a lot. And I didn't expect anybody to be able to just listen to it and be like, girl, let's go get something to eat type of thing. Whether it was my friend, my mom, whatever.
Because we was drained after it. You know what I mean?
I tried to avoid that episode at all costs. Like, no, you go first. No, you go first. Like, I laughed and joked.
We didn't even do it live. It wasn't even live.
I know.
It was.
I knew it was gonna be hard for me. I knew. I even sent it to my therapist.
In my dumbass, I was in here like, what did you? I didn't know what y'all was doing.
You didn't, and we apologize.
Y'all set me up.
We sorry.
We apologize for that.
I think for me, when he did listen to it, he was saying like something about he don't want to pay for what other people have done to me. You know what I mean? With my dad issues, with the things I went through in my marriage or relationships, like he just didn't even want to deal with it. But at the end of the day, I feel like he did the same exact thing to me that they did. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't a physical relationship, but it was, I mean, I'm sorry, it wasn't, he didn't get physical with me, meaning, you know, like trying to fight on me, but he definitely was manipulative, which I feel like, you know, in previous relationships, it definitely was some manipulation. Hey, Ship, how you doing? So I felt like he just pretty much did the same thing. You know, I poured in, and then I got, at the end of it, got nothing back out of it, you know. But I mean, however, again, I have definitely done my healing work, and I had to go back and say, okay, Nicole, you could have did this different. You could have did that different. Why did you do this? What's the real root? And so I try to get to the root. Like, if you allow him to do this, well, what made you allow him to do that? When is the time you first allowed that to happen? You know what I mean? So I really will go in and do the work and ask myself, you know, the higher questions that I probably really don't want to answer, but that's what has made me feel better. And so it, of course, it's naturally was going to take me a while because it was a whole 2-year relationship, but I had to, I realized just the other day, I had went a good long while and hadn't thought about him. You know what I mean? Like, he hadn't entered my brain.
I'm so childish because I bring him up all the time.
Yeah, because you childish.
And I am.
You know, but that's okay. But it don't bother me. You know what I mean? I don't be I don't like go home and be like, I can't believe no, I don't give a damn. I be just fine. Like, I feel okay. I did go through, like, maybe it was a month ago, I told you that for about 2 weeks I dreamed about him. I kept having dreams about him. But in the dreams, I had a sex dream about him the other day.
It was good, wasn't it?
No, I'll tell you about that later. Okay. So, but in the dreams I was having about him, it was still, again, him trying to reach out to me. But then when I was trying to have the discussions with him, he still wasn't being accountable and responsible in the dreams. So
I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but we have about 5 more minutes.
That's fine.
Before you wrap up for the
we could.
The next show.
I think so. We can wrap it up here. I think so. You've took the time to try to learn from a situation. I haven't. I think moving forward, I've been in a position where I'm like, I shared this intimate moment and I don't want to do it again. So I've been kind of like.
But what if you've already shared it and the person already is aware of it?
I mean, if they know, they know. But I think
You don't have to share it again.
So, Nicole,
Because that's it, right?
It's
That's
out
the
there.
last one they need to share it with.
It's already out there, and already knows.
I'm just saying, moving
person
forward,
might actually already know how to move.
Yeah.
and that's a
That part.
possibility. However, I'm just saying, I think it's because I was hurt so deeply by it that I wanted to close that part off about me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to share that anymore. Not that I'm ashamed of it. It's just a point of like, yeah, I don't need nobody else judging me.
I don't think you have to, because I think that was your release point. That was your opportunity to release, and it's always there.
Right.
It's
right.
there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
if somebody needs to know, I ain't saying it no more. Go listen. It's right here. The episode such and such. It's sitting. It's sitting on Spotify.
Yep.
So,
That's true.
and you don't have to listen to it either.
No.
But you might have
That
to
was
address some
tough.
things if that's what they want to do. But if they're man enough, they'll just handle it and be like, I understand. I'm gonna figure it out. And actually, as it's going to be more premeditated and more intentional on their interactions with you, knowing it.
That's fair.
A real man.
That's so, Ruthia, what are you pulling the plug on?
This week I am pulling the plug on No Longer Porn from an Empty Cup.
That's it. Yep.
Shout out to TT Jam for that, Jim.
That's right.
What am I pulling the plug on? I'm never ready. So I just saw something really quick on TikTok where a therapist
We only
said
got 5 minutes.
Oh,
it's
less than
it's
5
like 30
minutes.
seconds. The therapist blamed behaviors that I actually exercise on trauma from my past and trying to appease somebody in my family. And I looked at it and saw myself in a previous relationship wondering, like, and they were not treating me right, but I was still trying to. So
Are you a people pleaser?
Yeah.
I am.
Another ding, ding, ding.
I am. Yeah.
Y'all cannot.
So I'm pulling the plug on allowing past trauma to affect my current affairs.
Yep.
I like that. That's dope.
So I'm pulling the plug on unhealed emotions, situations.
All right. Just like that. We pulling the plug.
I love is when women decide that something is no longer serving them and they get the fuck up out of it. Like, this is no longer meant for me. Gotta blast. I love that. Like, I love when women choose themselves, put themselves first. Like, I love that. Girl, look at you. Realizing who the fuck you are and realizing not. I'm not going to deal with this any longer. I need to get up out of this. I need to do what's best for me. And you did that shit. And that's why you a boss ass bitch, because you did that shit. You did that shit. Never forget that you did that shit.